Our goal is to lose by, about 40 points. For the record, the largest point differential in a U.S. Olympic victory, the 1956 team, led by Bill Russell and Casey Jones, beat Thailand by 72, 101-29, but that's not the Olympic record. Iraq lost 2 games in 1948 by exactly 100. They were beaten by 100 points by both Korea and China in 1948. Now, what's on the minds of the Dream Teamers as they prepare for Angola? Well, we got a sampling of opinions.
It's an unknown situation. I don't think anybody's seen Angola, don't know much about them. So naturally, initially, you're going to be a little bit competitive. But once we get the feel of the game and if we feel like we're dominant over that team, then yeah, you're going to lose some interest of it.
We realize they're not as good, I guess, as a lot of teams we play, but those are the kind of games that scare you because you think you can come out and just do whatever you want to. And I think our main thing is not to turn it into an all-star game.
They're in trouble. They're in serious trouble.
And there you have it, Jordan and Malone trying to rationalize, trying to be diplomatic, and the quote machine, Charles Barkley, hitting the nail on the head. They are in trouble, and who is to doubt Sir Charles? We're in trouble if we don't get in a few commercials. Got to do it, but when we come back, it's the tip-off, the Dream Team in action.
It was like some kind of bad dream. By the time Dad was finished, I was scared to death of buying a car. I've done this a half a dozen times, he goes. I know how these people operate. It would be obvious this was my first time, but it had to be done. The SS Rosie was sinking fast. So while everyone else was spending money, I made some. And when Dad announced he was coming along, I didn't stop him, as if I could have. After a few of those places, I was beginning to think Dad really knew what he was talking about. Scary, huh? Then I had this idea. Going in, Dad says, now don't act too interested. But when I drove the Saturn, that was it. He was supposed to do the talking. But there were no hassles, even over the price. So I bought one. Dad goes, well, it's a good thing you had me along. The thing about Dad is, he likes to feel useful, and that's cool.
With wrinkled brows, the old have singing, deep sorrow, great joy. What does it mean? The touch, the feel, the fabric of our lives. The touch, the feel of cotton, the fabric of our lives.
We tested in laboratories. We tested on the asphalt, in the parks, and on the road. We tested when it's 102, and there is no shade. And we found that nothing replaces fluids and minerals and quenches a thirst better than Gatorade. It's been proven again and again. But just to keep us on our toes, we tested over and over again in the highest court in the land.
They've subsided now, but just a moment ago, the American team was all lined up in formation near the free throw line, and the flashballs were popping like crazy all around the 12,500-seat arena as the fans here tried to get a group picture of the American squad. Michael Jordan and the rest. Their final layup drill, I guess you call it, but it's going to be a dunk-a-thon for sure. Let's go out to our commentators, Marv Albert and Mike Fratello. Marvelous. How do you see this one, need I ask?
Well, Bob, this actually may be the biggest mismatch of the entire Olympics, and I'm talking from archery to taekwondo. In every category, Mike, be it skill level or physical differential, the U.S., in effect, is playing a different game.
Well, first of all, this Angolan team has come a long way in the last few years, most recently by winning the African Championship and qualifying for their first ever Olympic Games. But today, they're playing up against the greatest collection of basketball players ever. If you just take one area as an example, the size differential between these two teams, Angola averages 6 feet 3 inches, the USA team 6 feet 8 inches tall. The point guard spot, Magic Johnson 6'9", Sousa 6 feet even.
And that's only one of the many problems that they will face. One other side note, Angola coach Victorino Cunha made a statement the other day indicating a lack of respect for the defensive prowess of NBA players, a statement that could come back to haunt him.
Well, Coach Cunha said he actually likes collegiate basketball better in the USA. He feels that there is a lack of defense in the NBA. The effort is not given at the defensive end on a regular basis, but today he'll see a number of defensive weapons, from block shots to deflections to steals in the passing lanes, and then tremendous ball pressure by this USA squad, which in turn will lead to a number of easy scores.
And there is Victorio Cunha, man who taught himself the game by studying coaching textbooks, also spent 1 year at St. John's, observing Lou Carnesecca. Well, as we pointed out during the course of the Tournament of Americas in Portland, the Olympic basketball competition does put forth several variations under the guidelines of international rules, differences the U.S. team has adjusted to in smooth fashion.
Let's start out with the lane and three-point line. NCAA lane is only a rectangular shape, 12 feet wide, 19-foot 9-inch three-point line. NBA, a 23 feet 9-inch three-point line, a 16-foot rectangular lane. International court, a trapezoid, a 20-foot 6-inch three-point line. Then another thing that the USA is learning better is the international rule of basket interference. If it's on the rim, once it touches, you may take it off the rim. A few other things, 2 20-minute halves rather than a 48-minute game that the NBA plays. 30-second shot clock rather than 24 in the NBA. Zone defense, any defense is allowed here in international competition. And in the NBA, you foul out on your 6th personal. Here on the 5th, you're out of the game.
And we are just about set for the opening tip. Angola is here by virtue of winning the African Championship, its 2nd African title the past 3 years. They won the 16th African Nations Basketball Championship in Cairo, Egypt, to qualify for the Olympics last January. They beat Senegal in the finals of the tournament after Senegal had beaten the favorite Egyptians. The star player for Angola is Jean-Jacques Conceição. Goes 6'6", 216 pounds, wearing number 15. Nelson Sardinia will jump against Patrick Ewing for the opening tip. Now Conceição stepped in on the tip, and the United States controls. Michael Jordan guarded by Paulo Macedo. Here's Karl Malone. The foul is called. Malone was hacked.
Most people feel that to have a chance to beat this USA team, you must change defenses up, play a large portion of zone against them so that you can rebound the basketball, hope that they miss their perimeter shots. But Coach Cunha has said we play only man-to-man pressure defense. That's our way of playing. That's how we're going to play this entire game.
The Utah Jazz, a 5-time All-Star. Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan open in the backcourt. Karl Malone, Larry Bird, and Patrick Ewing up front. So the United States with the 1-0 lead. This is Paulo Macedo guarded by Magic Johnson. Larry Bird in the starting lineup says his back is all right. Conceição being guarded by Bird. Morera. And off the rejection, it is recovered. David Diaz able to stuff it home.
Well, the U.S. made a couple of excellent defensive plays, only to have the deflection wind up in the hands of Angola for an easy dunk. But the defensive pressure is there early for the USA.
Ewing off the fake. And the United States leads by the score of 3-2. The U.S. played its last full-force game, an exhibition game against the French national team. That was last Tuesday in Monte Carlo. A week of some preparation, some rest in Monte Carlo. Three-point attempt missed by Morera. Macedo able to recover. This is Macedo with it. Macedo plays professional ball in Portugal. Diaz. Angola using the clock. Diaz. And Jordan out of the pack. Magic all the way.
You can see that Angola is trying to create tempo by moving the basketball around, making the USA defense work. It's one of the things you'll have to do if you have to have a chance of beating them. Eventually try to break the defense down. It's unusual to see Larry Bird assigned to the best player from another team. Normally in Boston with the Celtics, they try to hide Larry defensively, save that back. Here, because of size, he's matched up against Conceição.
And a travel call on Conceição. Conceição considered Angola's best player. He plays professionally in Portugal. He's with Benfica in Portugal's first division. Benfica, the defending champion of Portugal. And he's said to be a player who could compete on the Division I level. Michael Jordan. And the foul is called on Jordan. The officials are Reuben Vivronik of Israel and Efim Resser of the Commonwealth of Independent States.
An area of concern by the United States coaches was that coming out of Portland and the Tournament of the Americas, they would see a different type of officiating here in the Olympics, a much closer type of officiating. They got away with a lot of hand-checking and stuff in Portland.
And that was Conceição with a three-pointer. So Angola has tied the game at 5. And Bird was hit by Macedo. Paulo Macedo called for the foul.
This starting unit that's on the floor for the United States may not be its best unit as far as meshing players' talents and abilities, as far as getting the right offensive blend with defense. That may come after a few substitutions.
Yes, and it comes. Jordan able to hit, and he was hacked.
Jordan started down posting up the first time, but this time facing the basket, taking his man down to the baseline. He knows he can jump up over and elevate over the top of the much smaller opponent.
United States with a 7-5 lead. Well, apparently that basket did not count, although the scoreboard had posted a 7-5 U.S. lead. We'll have to check that out. Here's a three-point attempt. Sosa off the mark.
Well, that's not one of the things that Coach Cunha wants, is a hurried shot from about 4 feet beyond the three-point line. They did a very good job early of controlling the basketball, running the clock.
And Sardinia was fouled. Now they say that Jordan shot did count. So it's the USA leading 7-5.
All right, here he goes.
He'll need a perfect 10 to qualify.
Come on, son.
And the dismount.
Here we go.
Oh, boy. He's young yet. He'll be back.
Can we get it there tomorrow? With express mail?
Sure.
Count on express mail for your most important documents.
We deliver for you.
You want good service? And RESPECT? Well, Mickey D's is the place. We guarantee we'll serve you ASAP and without an attitude. And at the drive-thru, we'll double-check your order so you won't have to. We'll treat you like a VIP because we want you to be satisfied. But if something's wrong with our service, we'll make it right. Or your next meal's on us. Hot, fast, friendly, and double-check. That's what you want. That's what you get. Guaranteed.
That's right. There's a little morale problem lately.
Am I missing something?
It's not exactly a cushy job. We owe them more than just a paycheck. When Buddy's wife was in the hospital, our health plan didn't cover everything. What? He had to lay out his own money.
Gaps like co-payments and deductibles can be closed with Aflac. Affordable supplemental insurance from Aflac gives your employees the protection they need and deserve.
Let's talk to Aflac.
Aflac, insuring over 35 million people worldwide.
Introducing new waterproof formula bathroom duck. The only multi-surface bathroom cleaner that waterproofs as it cleans to resist dirt buildup. Like water up a duck's back. Watch how dirty water just slides off the side, cleaned with Bathroom Duck. Its unique waterproofing formula resists dirt buildup to make cleaning easier. New Bathroom Duck. Nothing fights bathroom dirt like duck. From S.C. Johnson Wax.
Back in Barcelona, Patrick Ewing called for the foul. That's his second. And Nelson Sardinia, 6'6", 210-pound starting center for Angola at the free throw line.
And the problem right now for the United States team is that because of matchups, and Sardinia drew nothing that time but a lot of air with that first shot from the free throw line, Chuck Daly will try and move in his smaller, quicker lineup to match up against a few of these people. Ewing winds up guarding Sardinia, who's 6 feet 6 inches tall, and can put it on the floor from the outside.
Someone stepped in the lane too quickly. It is a violation. Getting back to that Jordan bucket, we've received word from the scorer's table. The basket count foul was waved off. So the U.S. with a 7-5 lead over Angola. This is Angola's first ever appearance in Olympic basketball. And they have been placed in the tougher bracket Group A with the United States, Croatia, Germany, Brazil, and Spain. Herrera on a pull-up. And Angola, although it is very early, pulling a surprise by hanging in the first 3.5 minutes. That counts. And the foul is called. No. The official waves off the basket and says yes, a foul.
Well, obviously, the continuation rule is not taking effect here. Michael Jordan was in the air, in the act of shooting when the block took place, but they have waved off the basket, awarding the ball on the side to the United States team.
Foul committed by Macedo. David Robinson has checked in, replacing Patrick Ewing, who had committed 2 fouls. Here's Jordan. Rebounded by Macedo. Was able to push it down. Sardinia guarded by Robinson. Nice fake. And it will be United States ball.
A nice move that time by Sardinia, by taking it right into David Robinson's face. You don't want to put the ball out in front for a shot blocker to go get. If you're going to shoot it, take it up into his face and reduce his ability to go and get it, extending his arms.
Last touch by Angola. Mike, you look at Angola offensively, and they're a club that seeks the 3-point field goal. Watching practice couldn't help but notice some interesting drills the other day as Robinson was fouled, such as the 5-on-7 matchup to prepare for the United States pressure that they expect.
It's not unusual for coaches when preparing against opponents that press a lot and have very athletic teams to use an overload principle. Put more defensive players on the floor than offensive players. What you do then is force your players to concentrate, try and shorten the passes. You know that you're not going to get away with a 30-foot pass against the USA team. They're too quick and cover too much ground. So by overloading that way, it makes them realize how precious the basketball is. And then when they get on the floor and play 5 against 5, the real thing, it looks a little bit easier. They execute better, hopefully.
United States by 1. Substitutions for Angola. Erlander Coimbra, who is a 3-point threat, checked in for the first time along with Jose Carlos Guimarães. United States with a 1-point lead. Just over 4 minutes gone by in the first half. Herrera handling against Jordan. That's a 3-pointer attempt by Coimbra. Bird passed on the 3, able to find Malone, and he's rejected. Here's Malone, yes, and a count.
That whole series of offensive basketball started with unselfish play. Larry Bird made the nice entry pass inside to Karl Malone. Malone comes back into the middle of the lane, but it's the help defense which prevents the first easy score. Robinson hustles it down, has a nice look underneath, and finds Malone again with a score and now the chance for a 3-point play.
And once again, a lane violation against Angola, so Malone will get an additional free throw.
Angola's so concerned about the USA's ability to rebound the basketball on a missed shot. They have 5 guys in checkout position to try and help rebound the miss.
Three-point play completed by Karl Malone, and the United States with an 11-7 lead. Angola will maintain possession. Marv Albert with the czar of the telestrator, Mike Fratello, and Quinn Buckner from Barcelona. It is the debut for the United States men's Olympic basketball team. Conceição not able to get the roll. Here's Malone.
Larry Bird, with the ability to adjust at the last second, really wanted to hit into the left lane to Michael Jordan on the fast break. Jordan was cut off and looked back right, saw the big man running the floor.
In the Tournament of Americas in Portland, Bird played brilliantly in the opening game against Cuba, and then the bad back sideline of Magic Johnson with the driving hook. Then Bird played briefly in the final game against Venezuela. Sardinia gets it back out.
One of the things that the United States team tends to do is they get you involved in an up-tempo type of game with the excitement, with the ability to dunk. You all of a sudden want to come back and answer them the same way. You take bad hurried shots. What happens is they're usually off and running.
Foul committed by Malone.
A moment ago for the United States team, rather than Magic or Michael leading it, it's Larry Bird who looks left but throws right, and the mailman finishes.
It is a non-shooting foul. In Olympic competition, 8 team fouls, and you go over the limit. Substitution. Angelo Vitorino comes on for the first time, a 6'5" forward wearing number 6. Conceição puts the move on Malone and trying to dish it off. York with the steal, and he took the bump. Foul committed by Vitorino.
By Conceição putting it on the floor, taking it to the basket. He broke down the U.S. defense, drew 2 defenders, but Michael Jordan rotated down from the weak side, came up with the steal under the basket.
6 minutes gone by, first half, and the U.S. with a 13-7 lead on Angola. Here's Jordan. Off the hesitation dribble, put the move on Vitorino. 8-0 run by the United States.
One of those sets that we had seen Chuck Daly's Detroit Pistons team use over and over again, the high pick and roll with Isaiah and Joe Dumars. Well, here for the U.S. team, it's Magic and Michael.
Herrera tried the 3. Magic with the spin. Finds Bird. Bird for 3. Yes!
One thing about Larry Bird, he understands that when there's been a great pass made and he's the recipient of that pass, you've got to put it in the basket to make the whole thing work and look good for the highlight package.
U.S. with an 18-7 lead. Ibarra attempting the three-point shot. And a traveling violation has been called. Scottie Pippen, Charles Barkley getting set to check in. It's the U.S. 18, Angola 7.
NBC Nightly News brings you America closer.
We want to focus on what's working in America, like Trenton's Weed and Seed program.
I think the program should keep the kids off the street.
After the NBC stories, we got more parents coming by.
You come here and it's always going to be here for you.
In Touch with America, NBC Nightly News.
Speedy Muffler King, serving our customers in the communities where they live and work. The drive for the Olympic medals has begun on WCMH4. Keep watching the 92 Summer Olympics and News 4 to see the medals add up and find out how you're doing in the drive for the Olympic medals game. Presented by WCMH, Pepsi, Kroger, and your Central Ohio Ford dealers.
The Dodge factory authorized clearance. Get up to $31.83 total savings on Dakota. Dakota 4x4 Club Cab, four-wheelers pickup of the year. With an available new Magnum V8, it can out-haul, out-tow any comparable Ford, Chevy, or import compact. See the Dodge dealer nearest you for the new Dodge you'll want to put in your garage.
using a spinner lure to snag a walleye.
Tired of the vast wasteland of weekend morning TV? Well, rejoice! Now every Saturday and Sunday beginning at 7 a.m., News 4 gives you the perfect choice. Sheldon Ripson and Lauren Schultz will help you make the most of your weekend. You'll thrill to Brett Atkins' outdoor adventures. And Tom McNutt unlocks the secrets of a super garden. Plus, you'll get up-to-the-minute news, in-depth sports, and complete weather. News 4 Weekend. At last, weekend TV for grown-ups.
Get accurate, up-to-the-minute information around the clock from the news channel, News 4. The news you want when you want it is as close as your touch-tone phone with Channel 4's Ameritech Touch 4 system. Just dial 899-8000. When asked, press 4444. And you'll be in touch with news, weather, sports, and lotto results from the people who make the difference in local news, Ameritech and the news channel, keeping Columbus in touch every day.
This week at Beltone, $59 repair of any make, any model hearing aid.
Ohio Bell, reminding you to just phone first. Ohio Bell, an Ameritech company.
A moment ago for the United States team, Michael Jordan playing off the high pick and roll now finds himself in an isolation. It's a matter of just getting up over the top of the defense to score the 2 points. Magic Johnson, leading the fast break, has eyes behind his head, knows that Larry Bird's going to be trailing. Now it's just a matter of, do you knock the shot down? And Bird sure does.
11 unanswered points by the United States. Conceição was fouled by Barkley. Charles Barkley and Scottie Pippen have checked in for the first time. The U.S. has hit 7 of 12 from the field. Angola 3 of 13.
And now after these substitutions by the USA team, Magic Johnson, who is the point guard, is actually the second tallest player on the floor for the USA team at 6 feet 9 inches tall.
This is David Diaz being guarded by David Robinson. Coimbra, wild three-point attempt. Angola now 1 for 9 from downtown.
And Coach Cunha made one of those faces that coaches can appreciate, like, oh no, not that shot.
And there is Victorino Cunha. Angola, located along Africa's west coast. The country has a population of 10 million. Coach Victorino Cunha estimates there are only about 250 serious basketball players in the entire country. In fact, there's only 2 modern indoor gyms in Angola. Victorino Cunha in his 17th year as head coach of the national team. He was 3 years old when his family moved from its native Portugal to Angola, a soldier in Angola who fought for his adopted country's independence from Portugal. That did take place in 1975, but the turmoil did not end. Angola involved in a civil war that lasted until May of 1991. Traveling violation call. And now Clyde Drexler of the Portland Trailblazers coming on, replacing Irvin Magic Johnson.
So when Magic goes off the floor, Michael moves over, becomes the point guard. You have Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, and Clyde, all with the ability to make the pass or run the show if necessary.
Drexler for 3. Rebound Barkley. Rebound Barkley. And he's fouled and shoves David Diaz. Well, Charles getting a bit aggressive went at Diaz.
The physical presence of Barkley under the basket against 3 players, draws the contact, and then tries to make a little room for himself in the lane area.
Charles Barkley has been a quote machine throughout the week here in Barcelona. You get the idea one way or another he might cause an international incident.
I think Chuck Daly was a little nervous when they had the dinner in Monte Carlo when the Prince arrived. He tried to keep Charles as far away from the Prince as possible.
Charles pointed out prior to the dinner he was not sure how to handle things because you're not supposed to start eating before the Prince actually does. He said, what if the Prince gave a head fake? He'd be thrown off completely. Conceição with the drive, it's rejected, but a foul is called.
All the little things that were not called at the Tournament of Americas, they've been called thus far here. That time, Michael Jordan reaching in, a little touch on the arm. A foul is called against Michael Jordan. In Portland, Tournament of the Americas, those were never called. U.S. was on their way to easy scores by causing a lot of deflections and steals.
Been a long time between points for Angola. 14 consecutive by the U.S. Jordan for three. And Robinson able to recapture. Jordan. Drexler for Barkley. United States 23, Angola 7, 16 consecutive points for the U.S. This game at one point was even at 7. 9 minutes gone by. Off the steal, Drexler. And the U.S. has a 25-7 lead.
You can see the big difference between this unit on the floor for the USA team. This is their speed, their quickness team, the one that forces a lot of the offense through good defense.
Another steal. Here's Jordan. 20 unanswered. And the U.S. has a 27-7 lead.
Two players across the United States will switch out, jump in passing lanes, and Jordan, Pippen, two of the best at extending the arm, forcing the action, making it happen offensively.
In our universe, there was always the unknown, the unpredictable. All we can do is prepare for it.
We actually have an air patrol watching over our cables. At AT&T, we go to great lengths to protect your 800 service.
Hello, 800 Flowers.
We can send flowers for any occasion, anytime, anywhere. But if our 800 service goes down, we're reminded that our business is very perishable.
AT&T is installing our new FastStar technology now to protect businesses. FastStar can detect a cable cut instantly and design a solution around it. 800 calls can get back in minutes instead of hours.
Dear Mom, I miss you. Love, Sally.
AT&T has the most reliable 800 service, period.
In this business, opportunity doesn't knock, it calls. And that's why we chose AT&T 800 service.
AT&T. Call us.
Oh, what a disaster.
Yeah. New boss, new job. Instead of running to the meeting, I ran to the ladies' room.
Whose monthly protection hasn't failed? Try Stay Free Ultra Plus. A natural core draws moisture down, then away, so the surface can absorb again and again. The wider shape protects front to back, edge to edge.
It really does the job.
Now maybe I can do mine.
Stay Free Ultra Plus. Designed to stop accidents before they start.
I'm a real wild one, wild one.
When it comes to clean, fresh taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
Last stop, Southport.
Bud Light delivers.
U.S. with a 27-7 lead. Angola with 20 consecutive points. United States pitching a shutout for a good portion of this first half after Angola and the U.S. were tied at 7 in the opening minutes. Foul on Robinson. And here's Chris Mullen of the Golden State Warriors checking in for the first time. Benjamin Chukwuemeka, 5'11" guard, on the floor for the first time for Angola, and he threw it away. United States with a front line out. David Robinson, Charles Barkley, and Chris Mullen, Clyde Drexler, Scottie Pippen at the guard. Barkley makes it 22 straight points.
In the half-court offense, the United States keeps it very simple. They have very few half-court offensive plays, a couple against the zone attack if they need it. They basically feel that their defense will give them the good transition opportunities, and then they're going to take advantage of those. Therefore, when it comes to set plays, just get guys in the right spot and let them play.
Sardinia called for the travel. Being defended by Robinson, did not have the move.
One of their plays is to take advantage of their ability to post up. Charles catches a player on his back, and it's history no matter who it is.
Angola now 3 of 15 from the field. Mullen getting it back out. And the foul is called on Angola, on Manuel Sousa. United States 11 for 20 from the floor. And David Robinson will go to the line. Robinson is 1 of 2 from the free throw line. David Robinson with international experience. Had an outstanding NBA career over 3 seasons out of the Naval Academy. Internationally, helped the U.S. win the World Championship in 1986. And his U.S. team upset by Brazil in the 87 Pan Am Games. And a year later, the club that lost to the Soviet Union in the Seoul Olympics. Sardinia guarded by Robinson. Another three-point attempt, firing from all angles. Manuel Sousa, and Angola from three-point range now 1 for 11.
What they've done most recently now in the last couple of minutes is the Angolans have spread the floor. They're trying to get the ball into the hands of a player they feel can take somebody off the dribble, and then if the defense should collapse, kick back out. What they have not seen are players that can recover as quickly, cover as much ground as these United States players can.
Well, Coach Victorino Cunha certainly had a realistic approach concerning today's game. He said he hoped to keep the point differential within 45, and his other objective to hold the United States team under 100 points. He said, though, he would not play zone against the U.S.
We pressure the ball, he said, all the time. Man-to-man defense is the only way to play, and perhaps there's a little influence there from Coach Louis Carneseca from the days when Coach Cunha spent some time with him.
Yes, we mentioned earlier he spent a year at St. John's observing Lou. Very secretive, though, about his ball club. Our crack researcher, David Kahn, attempting for days to secure the starting lineup of Angola. And went to Coach Cunha before the game and said, not now. I'll give you the lineup after the game. Thanks so much, Coach.
Many NBA coaches may try that.
I know that Magic and Michael were spending many hours trying to figure out the matchup, so it was really vital that the starting lineup be held secretive. Just under 9 minutes to go in this first half. 25 unanswered points for the United States. Conceição stopped by Drexler. And Pippen leads the break. Finds Barkley.
Pippen forced it to the last second when he had to make a decision, then made the right choice, had it to Charles Barkley in the left lane.
You get the feeling that Angola's last basket was yesterday?
I think if we ask Coach Cunha his opinion now of NBA defense, it may have changed a little bit.
Another three-point fling. Angola's missed its last 11 shots. Ewing, yes, 29 unanswered points by the United States, and they lead it 36-7 with 8 minutes to go in this first half. Conceição with the spin and a wild shot. Barkley from Pippen. 31 straight points for the U.S. for a 38-7 lead. And a foul is called on Barkley.
Barkley, a little contact after he makes the layup on the way back down the floor. Just a little elbow to send a message here, and the officials, good call, had an eye on the whole thing. Charles has to be smart about this. They will throw him out of the game in a second in international competition.
Charles a bit frisky. He shoved David Diaz earlier in the half, and now through the elbow, and a technical foul has been called. That's Coimbra shooting the tee. So Angola stops the streak.
Charles probably felt it was just a little love tap right here, but the officials felt a little bit differently about the right elbow in the chest.
United States with a 38-8 lead. 7.5 left in this first half.
Point of emphasis as the USA team was practicing, get out and challenge three-point shooters. In international competition, it's a very, very big weapon with a shorter three-point line than these players are used to seeing in the NBA. And Chuck Daly's team doing a good job of challenging.
And Ewing is hit.
The long pitch ahead passes to these big people for the United States team. People have the ability, even at 7 feet, 7'1", to run the floor, get down the court so that the guards and forwards may advance it ahead, take some of the pressure off the ball handlers.
So you look at the shooting. Angola 3 of 20 from the field. They missed their last 13 field goal attempts. Out of their 20 shots, 13 have been attempted from three-point range. They are 1 of 13.
Well, it's obvious to see that they want to penetrate the lane and then spot people up outside to kick back out for three-point shots. But the three-point shots have been contested ones, not easy open looks, or they've been from 4 to 5 feet behind the three-point line, which makes it a little bit tough at that range.
United States 39, Angola 8. That's another three-point attempt. Angola went 8:45 without scoring. Clyde Drexler extends to 41-8. 8 minutes and 45 seconds without scoring. That was finally concluded when Coimbra hit the second of his technical free throw. In the opening minutes, this game was tied at 7. And then the United States reeled off 31 consecutive. Here's Sardinia looking for the shot on Ewing. Sardinia gets it back. Sardinia with a trunk. The basket will not count. And that is his third foul.
A moment ago, you saw Clyde Drexler with an uncontested layup. Well, there's no way that when a player takes a three-point shot opportunity for Angola, and it'll come right from this spot here as Coimbra takes the three-pointer, you'll then notice that Drexler rotates out to try and defend the shot, keeps going, no one covers the backcourt. The result, easy layup.
Scottie Pippen using the pick that was set up high by Patrick Ewing. And the foul is called on Guimarães. So Pippen to the free throw line. I would think that Scottie is looking forward to the matchup against Croatia tomorrow with his good friend Tony Kukoc, considered to be one of the best players in Europe, and the Chicago Bulls drafted Kukoc a couple of years ago. Quite a stir caused last season when Bulls were attempting to sign Kukoc, and Pippen and Michael Jordan were upset because they felt other matters should have been settled first. At any rate, Pippen and Jordan going up against perhaps their former future teammate, Tony Kukoc.
Well, in talking to both players, they're both very anxious to play against Kukoc in their game coming up against Croatia. And the reason being, you know, both of these guys in potential could have lost a little bit of money off of their contracts if Kukoc was given the contract that was rumored to be. Michael Jordan kind of feels he should be making that kind of money. I'm sure Pippen would like to make that kind of money. So let's see what happens head up.
And Croatia considered one of the better teams in this group. Largely off a beautiful feed from Mullen. And he drew the foul.
It looks simple. When it's executed and done the right way, pick and roll, two-man basketball, take two defenders with you, then it's just a matter of being able to make the bounce pass. Barkley will take care of the conversion. Rolling towards the basketball so he can see it the whole way, Barkley finishes off.
Charles Barkley, along with his role as the enforcer, the high scorer, he has 12 points. He's hit 5 of 6 from the field, and he's given the United States a 45-8 lead. The steal by Pippen.
That's one of the reasons why they practiced 5 against 7. Knowing that the USA team was going to double team, press, trap, rotate, they were trying to handle those situations and not turn your back and not see where the defensive players are coming from. Short passes to advance the ball.
And again, the strip. This time last touch by the United States. U.S. up 47-8.
Kellogg's Cornflakes presents your basketball stars for the Olympic Games. Center, David Robinson. Dave, wrong jacket. David Robinson. No, not that jacket. This jacket featuring Hugh Malone, Stockton, Bird, and Mullen. Just in time for you to get into the action of this basketball first. Available from Kellogg's Cornflakes and for a mere 2 proofs and $4.99.
Now that's proper attire.
A commemorative Kellogg's 1992 U.S. Olympic jacket from Kellogg's Cornflakes. Dave, now, about those pants.
Things are different. The new Pontiac Grand Am Sports Sedan proves it. Things are better because this Grand Am offers you the power and performance of a big V6. You'd pay thousands more for a V6 on a Camry, and it's not even an option on an Accord. In fact, Consumers Digest named Grand Am a Best Buy. Pontiac Grand Am, a new kind of driving excitement.
It was born right here in America.
But it's become the one taste the whole world shares. Hi, I'm Natalie Cole.
And I'm Randy Travis. This summer during the Olympics,
We're going to do something a little different.
we're not just going to show you Coca-Cola commercials from here.
We're going to show you how people share Coca-Cola all around the world.
In places like Spain,
Japan,
Australia.
and Brazil.
Because while we all have different cultures and traditions, underneath it all,
You know, we're all pretty much the same. We all celebrate the Olympic spirit.
and we all enjoy kicking back, putting up our feet, and sharing a Coke.
Back at the Palo de Sports in Badalona. The United States at one point scored 31 consecutive points, a 31-0 run. And they now lead it 47-8 as we come up on 5 minutes to go in the first half. And that is a 30-second violation.
Angola had no idea that time how much time they had used up. They were just getting back into running their half-court offense. Suddenly the horn goes off with the violation.
Patrick Ewing now at center. Charles Barkley up front along with Chris Mullen. Scottie Pippen in the backcourt with Clyde Drexler. Here's Mullen with the feed for Barkley. Barkley came from out of bounds to receive. So the ball goes to Angola. Crowd beginning to turn here on Charles.
Well, Charles kind of invites people, you know, to come after him, and he's willing to accept the consequences in the end. And a little bit of the physical play does not have the fans real happy with Charles.
Vicario. And Pippen with a 4-on-3 finds Mullen.
Actually, Chris was just trying to initiate contact, get to the free throw line and shoot 2 free throws. Instead, he gets the contact, no call, but converts the basket.
Christian Leitner is getting set to make his first appearance. Magic Johnson will return, and yet another 3-point shot. This time by Conceição, who is not noted for his range. Here's Pippen squeezing in, rejected, but Ewing is right there. Conceição got a piece of it, but Ewing on the follow, providing a 51-8 lead for the United States. And the the latest run for the U.S. They reeled off 31 consecutive points earlier. 13 unanswered the last couple of minutes. The United States is outscored as Safesau followed, fired wide. U.S. on a 3-on-2. Barkley make it 53-8. The U.S. with a 46-1 run. 46-1.
One of the toughest things for the coaches who oppose the USA team will be to keep their players focused on the fact that you have to go beyond the game against the United States. You're playing for positioning. You're playing for other medals, perhaps, other than just the goal.
And Paulo Macedo able to convert a 3. Only the second three-pointer for Angola. 2 for 16 from downtown. Drexler.
Clyde couldn't believe that nobody came over to try and stop him going to the basket. He was ready to dish off. Suddenly found himself in the air in front of the rim and had to try and convert. Just didn't have it right in his left hand.
Pippen was called for the reach-in. Angola finally hitting double figures. And here comes Leitner, along with Magic Johnson. Karl Malone returns. Well, earlier we showed you the map of Angola, which is located along Africa's west coast. Christian Leitner hails from Angola in western New York State. Christian Leitner out of Duke University. The #1 draft pick, 3rd selection overall of the Minnesota Timberwolves. United States with a 53-11 lead. 2.5 remaining in the half. Make it 55-11.
Chris Mullin coming out of Don Nelson's system where they're used to passing, moving, cutting without the basketball, so he gives it up. Drexler beats somebody off the dribble and then finds Chris running a little backdoor move, gives it right back for the easy score.
And Malone able to tip it over to Mullin. Now Magic. Malone from Leitner. Malone missed the tip. And Conceição able to get it down. During the course of the pregame, we heard from several members of the 1988 United States basketball team, a team that lost to the Soviet Union in the semifinals. Sosa for Angola. Magic with a whipping pass for Leitner. Coming up at halftime, Costas will bring you the story of the only other American men's basketball failure in the Olympics. The 1972 team, which lost the gold medal game to the Soviet Union. The story is seen through the eyes of the Soviets. That's coming up at halftime. A look away from Magic. Drexler not able to hit. He thought he was fouled. Malone converts, and he was fouled.
Well, this time Magic came down, gave it to Drexler, who did not convert. But a moment ago, Magic, with eyes looking all over the court, finds Leitner, and then Christian has the ability to convert those little baskets around the hoop. He's got those nifty little moves. A look away, but Clyde comes up a little short. Then it's the follow-up and ability to get on the offensive boards by Karl Malone, which produces the score.
And the score right now shows a 46-point differential, the biggest win ever for the United States in Olympic competition, as we mentioned earlier, 101-29 over Thailand back in 1956, a U.S. team that was led by Bill Russell and Casey Jones. That a 72-point spread. Most points scored by the United States in the Olympics, 125 against Japan in 1960. I think we will see several records erased. In international competition, how about this score, Mike? World University Games, 1976. U.S. 173, the Sudan 14, and our Quinn Buckner played on that U.S. team. He told me personally that he was the guy who turned that game around early, opening minutes.
You continue to amaze me. You're like a walking record book. You just keep throwing these numbers that I never would have dreamed of.
And you believe these numbers?
It's the first thing you told me when I joined you. You always believe what I said.
United States 62, Angola 13. Another three-point attempt, a wild shot fired up by Codifra. And here's Leitner, traveling violation call.
After the missed shots, the U.S. team has been looking down the floor because they continue to send one guy out. This time, Drexler out in front has two defenders. He knows he's got help coming, but Leitner with the travel before the basket attempt.
Throw some other numbers at you. The greatest margin of victory in one game. Now, this would take quite a stretch. 100 points. It was done twice in 1948. Meanwhile, Angola beginning to hit some three-pointers. That was Macedo with his second from downtown. 62-16 the score. Final seconds of the half, and Malone is fouled. He was hit hard by Diaz.
Again, a result of pick-and-roll basketball. Malone set the screen, rolled to the basket, then it's the Magic Man delivering on the money. Malone takes the contact, goes to the free throw line.
Back in 1948, Korea defeated Iraq 120-20 with a 100-point margin. China over also the same Iraq squad, 125 to 25, also the 100-point differential. The U.S. with a 63-16 lead here. 2 and 5/10 seconds to go in the half. So the United States leading 64-16, and that is it for the first half. The high point men, Charles Barkley with 14, Karl Malone with 11. At one stretch, the U.S. with 31 and unanswered points. They had just rolled over Angola in this first half. Charles Barkley, who had an aggressive first half of play, and he's the high point man, hitting 6 of 7 from the field. We'll be back here in Barcelona in just a moment.
Pure and natural. The only beer with the genuine taste of the king of beers, Budweiser.
We found out that MCI offers a program where we can put one number in for an overseas friend or family and get a 20% discount.
When MCI said you can submit one overseas number, I thought, this is the ticket.
The person at the other end said, did you know that you can add an international number to your friends and family circle? And I'm like, sign me up.
I can get 20% off calling that one number in Japan.
My daughter's going to Europe this summer for 2 months, and I get 20% off on that international call. MCI is a great way to save money.
Morning breath.
Once you're married, you get used to it.
Deep down, you know it's a problem.
I don't smell anything.
Lucky you.
Morning breath. If I had it, they'd tell me.
Ignoring morning breath won't make it go away. Scope will. Its 2 powerful ingredients kill 90% of the bacteria that cause morning breath.
Is my morning breath really a big problem?
There's no denying it's a problem. Kiss morning breath goodbye with Scope.
The race is on to make batteries that last longer. And today's Duracell batteries can even outrun the ones we made just a few years ago. Today's Duracell, you can't top the copper top.
In case you joined us late, this game was actually tied at 7. And for the record, Angola got the first basket after a U.S. free throw, and they led at one point 2-1. But at halftime, the U.S. has exactly quadrupled Angola's score at 64-16. Now, before the game, we told you the story through Marv Albert's reporting of the U.S. disappointment in 1988 when they settled for bronze. But really, when you look back over the Olympic history of U.S. basketball, the biggest disappointment came in 1972. The greatest controversy, perhaps, in the history of all organized basketball. Never been a more controversial game than the gold medal contest in Munich in 1972. There, the Soviets dealt the Americans their first ever Olympic loss. Later in our coverage of these games, we'll hear from the United States players from that 1972 team with their perspective 20 years later. But right now, we bring you the story in a way that perhaps you've never seen it before, through the eyes of the Soviets. It's among the most controversial moments in Olympic history. The 51-50 Soviet victory on a last-second basket sent waves of disbelief and outrage across the United States. The loss stunned the United States team, which had never been beaten in 36 years of Olympic basketball. A streak of 63 games and 7 gold medals. Meanwhile, Vladimir Kondrashin, the Soviet head coach, felt the time was ripe for an upset.
American basketball was stronger than ours, but we exploited their mistake, the underestimation of our ability.
Because the Soviets were given 3 chances to inbound the ball in the final 3 seconds, the Americans have always felt they were robbed. Sergei Belov, the Soviets' high scorer that day, has this perspective.
We'll never find out who was right and who was wrong. In all fairness, there's always 2 sides with completely different opinions.
The Soviets had led throughout the game, with time running down and the USA trailing by 1. Doug Collins stole a pass and was fouled hard on his way to the basket. The clock showed 3 seconds remaining. Soviet backup center Alexander Bolashev relived the moment.
I hoped he was through, but when I saw his eyes, his concentrated gaze, I thought that this guy would make his 2 foul shots, and he did. I thought we probably lost, but hope remained.
Soviet center Arjan Jarmukhomedov quickly inbounded the ball, while his coaches frantically signaled for timeout.
When I threw the ball the first time, Sergei Belov caught it and the buzzer went. And I thought, why did the buzzer go off so early?
But the buzzer was not for the end of the game, but from the scorekeeper, because our coach had asked for timeout.
According to international rules, the Soviets were not allowed to call timeout during Collins' free throws. They were granted timeout with 1 second remaining. Although he had no authority to do so, the Basketball Federation General Secretary, Dr. William Jones of Great Britain, came out of the crowd to tell the scorekeepers that 3 seconds should be put back on the clock, setting the stage for the infamous ending.
There are another 3 seconds left.
As the players returned to the court, the timekeeper was resetting the clock to 3 seconds. Inexplicably, the ref handed the ball to Ivan Yedeshko for the second throw-in before the clock was completely reset. Yedeshko inbounded for what the Americans thought was the final play of the game. But the clock had not been properly reset to 3 seconds.
You must not enter the hall.
So General Secretary Jones and the officials cleared the court for a 3rd throw-in. Meanwhile, Coach Vladimir Kondrashin was speaking to his team.
I said that 3 seconds is a lot of time. Everything isn't lost.
Soviet guard Ivan Yedeshko remembered that huddle.
Coach said that I must give pass for Belov. Only one moment that it is possible to win a long pass.
Here, in my opinion, the Americans make a mistake. Macmillan began to guard Yedeshko making the pass, when with his height, he should have been guarding Belov. We have an expression to go crazy from happiness. When Alexander Belov made the last basket, he was running without understanding anything.
The Americans immediately filed a protest, which wasn't resolved till the following day when a 5-man jury voted 3-2 to deny the appeal. All three negative votes coming from Eastern Bloc nations.
Silver medal, USA.
The American team unanimously refused to participate in the award ceremony or to accept their silver medals.
I wasn't surprised, but it was a bit insulting. It wasn't sporting of them. You have to accept things as they are in life. Today you lose, but life goes on.
The former Soviet Olympic heroes have gone their separate ways. Bolashev, Jarmukhomedov, and Yedeshko all live in Moscow. They still gather on the basketball court to play pickup games with other former Soviet Olympians. Yedeshko, who threw the winning pass, lives in Moscow with his wife, and he coaches the Soviet Army team. Alexander Belov, who scored the final basket, died in 1978 from heart disease. His memory is celebrated often near St. Petersburg by his mother, Maria.
He didn't even like to be asked about the 1972 game. He only said I had to make the last basket, but it was the achievement of the whole team.
Coach Vladimir Kondrashin lives in St. Petersburg, where he coaches a club team. Sergei Belov, who scored 20 of the 51 points in that 72 game, spent many years as a prominent Soviet club coach before moving to Italy to live and coach in the Italian league. Even with the thaw of the Cold War, the 1972 gold medal game is still a hot topic.
For the past 20 years, all Americans constantly ask me this. Always the questions, and that we won by cheating. The only thing we can do is gather the players from 72 and play another game. That is the only chance to dot the I.
So, from the perspective of the players for the former Soviet Union, I don't know what the Angolans' perspective could possibly be here. 64-16, Mike and Marv after this.
It's one of the most powerful weapons in the world. It's in the hands of average citizens. It's captured criminals and created heroes. It's changed America forever. The power of video. Experience it when an all-new Eyewitness Video returns Sunday after the Olympics.
We're squeezing toothpaste, slicing deodorant, and moving to deep discount drug prices every day.
Great new prices from the health and beauty aisle, boss.
Make them lower.
Lower. I can do that.
Now Kroger red tags mean deep discount drug prices, too. Look for new red tag price reductions in the health and beauty aisle at Kroger Food and Drug.
Rain. I used to hate driving in it, but not anymore. My new Pontiac Grand Am has standard anti-lock brakes that help me maintain steering control, especially on rain-slick roads. I looked at Camry Deluxe with anti-lock brakes, but it would have cost over $4,000 or more.
And now Grand Am's an even better value with Smart Buy. $199 a month buys a new Pontiac Grand Am. See Lehman Hendrick, Gus Weiler, John Dukoski, Indian Mound, Kane, McDaniel, and Plaza Pontiac.
Pontiac Grand Am. Safety and value.
Using a spinner lure to snag a walleye.
Tired of the vast wasteland of weekend morning TV? Well, rejoice! Now every Saturday and Sunday beginning at 7 a.m., News 4 gives you the perfect choice. Sheldon Ripson and Lauren Schultz will help you make the most of your weekend. You'll thrill to Brett Atkins' outdoor adventures. And Tom McNutt unlocks the secrets of a super garden. Plus, you'll get up-to-the-minute news, in-depth sports, and complete weather. News 4 Weekend. At last, weekend TV for grown-ups.
It's a sizzling week for the Joan Rivers Show. On Monday, meet talk show hosts from around the world. Tuesday's a tell-all tribute for Jackie O's 63rd birthday. Wednesday heats up with music and box office chart toppers Natalie Cole, En Vogue, Kid and Play, Celine Dion, and Wayne's World's Mike Myers. On Thursday, Married with Children's David Faustino on nightclub antics of the 90s. And on Friday, people who say love cleaned out my bank account. Don't miss the Joan Rivers Show.
Weekday mornings at 11 right here on WCMH4.
The U.S. 64 and Angola 16. And by the way, just one more note about that game in 1972. As we said, we're going to show it to you from the U.S. perspective. We'll talk with a great majority of the players who were involved in that game for the United States team a bit later in our coverage of these games of the 25th Olympiad. But it's interesting to note that almost to a man, and they're asked periodically, they have been asked over the last 20 years, and as recently as a year or so ago, they were asked whether they wanted their silver medals, whether they wanted them sent to them, and almost to a man, they all still say, forget about it. We will never accept the silver medal. Let's go out to Marv Albert and Mike Fratello. They are calling this game, and Marv, you have called many, and I am guessing this is the greatest mismatch of your career. I don't mean working with Fratello, I mean the game itself.
I'm glad you cleared that up. There was a game back at PS 225 in Brooklyn, though, I must say, where it was almost a shutout.
You two are teamed up now, right? Obviously.
For the first half. Yes, look at these numbers. 31 straight points at one stretch, 46-1 run by the United States. And way back, this was a 7-7 game, and there are actually people here wondering what's going on.
Well, it started out with the slow, big USA team trying to get out there and play defense, and Angola was very patient, moved the basketball, made some early shots, and the USA had some problems making shots. But when they substituted and brought the quick team in, then things started to turn around. And you're talking about transition score after score, Charles Barkley taking it to the basket, finishing for the USA team, and then on the way back, delivered what may have been a little friendly elbow. However, the officials didn't think so and wound up hitting Charles with a technical foul.
And Erlander Coimbra did not think it was a friendly elbow either. Charles Barkley with a terrific first half. He hit 6 out of 7 from the field, 2 of 3 from the line. He's the high man with 14. The United States 23 for 37 shooting overall. Angola 6 for 32. It has been a rout, 64-16 in the first half. Let's go over to Quinn Buckner with Coach Chuck Daly.
All right, thanks, Marv. Coach Daly, you go in, your team all of a sudden started off a little bit slow, but then they decided to pick it up. What do you tell them? I mean, I don't know what to tell them. What do you tell them?
Well, I really didn't say much at half, but, you know, we did talk to them. The atmosphere is a little bit different. You know, it is the Olympic Games. We know Angola is not a strong club. We wanted to play good defense primarily. And, you know, the Angolan coach did not think that the NBA played defense. And I think our guys wanted to make a little statement about it.
Well, there's no question they made a statement about it. If you need luck, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Back to you, Marv.
Yes, I don't think luck will be a factor in this one. We'll be back with the second half from Barcelona in a moment.
The games of the 25th Olympiad are brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers and proud sponsor of the U.S. Olympic team. By PPG. PPG salutes the American spirit. By United Airlines, proud sponsor of the 1992 U.S. Olympic team. Come fly the friendly skies. And by Time Magazine. If it's important to you, you'll find it in Time.
We'll be back after these messages.
The rush is on for the incomparable new GE Profile refrigerator. The GE Profile is full of smart ideas, like a shelf that tucks away for tall things, and shelves that glide out so you can find things. It's called Smart Space Design. Smart ideas that let you put things in, take things out, and clean things up so quickly and easily that you'll never again miss your favorite commercials.
We bring good things to life. The people of Barcelona have enthusiastically accepted the art of Picasso, the sculpture of Miro, and the architecture of Gaudi. Nearly 40,000 merchants in and around Barcelona also gladly accept the American Express card. So when you go there this summer, take your passport and the American Express card. And remember, to visit Spain, you don't need a visa.
To fight the effects of corrosion, the body of the Buick Regal has been built with two-side galvanized steel that goes beyond what most car makers use. Beyond Honda, beyond Toyota. In fact, all Buicks are warranted against outer body rust-through for 6 years or 100,000 miles. And that's a promise you don't have to take with a grain of salt.
There's nothing quite as fine as Sargento fancy shredded natural cheese for cooks with more taste than time. Sargento of Wisconsin.
Marv Albert, Mike Fratello, Quinn Buckner back at the Municipal Sports Palace of Barcelona as we get set for the second half, and the United States with a 64-16 lead on Angola. Barkley, the high man, with 14. Malone with 11. Chuck Daly starting. Patrick Ewing, Larry Bird, and Karl Malone on the front line. Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson in the backcourt. Jean-Jacques Conceição, wearing number 15, will go on the opening tip.
This is their spread alignment. They try to get a fast break off the tip of the USA team if they can control it.
And it is controlled by Angola. They did get the break, but not the bucket. Bird behind the back. The touch pass from Magic. Malone with the lead for Jordan. Back to Malone, and he's tied up.
There were some great passes that just took place in that series. Unfortunately, the U.S. team could not finish at the end. But you're talking about looks, unselfish play, behind-the-back action, and then you got a power forward in Malone crossing it over to Jordan, who just tried to give it back with a finish to Malone, but it didn't take place.
So the United States controlling the tip. Jordan being guarded by Paulo Macedo, who is one of the better players for Angola, but he turned his head, and he was beaten by Jordan.
You figure that once Michael Jordan goes that far down the lane, nothing's going to happen to hurt you. Wrong. Jordan's always looking, the USA team always looking for that late pass.
The Angolans have been on the road for nearly a month. An air ball 3 was tossed up by Herrera. And here's Magic with the look away for Malone. The Angolan team flew to the United States in late June, embarked on a 17-day barnstorming tour of the Midwest, and then arrived in Barcelona this past Wednesday. In the U.S., they played, for the most part, AAU teams. Played at gyms such as, well, that's a long-range 3 by Guimarães, Jose Carlos Guimarães. And an offensive foul called on Ewing. For Ewing, his third foul.
Well, a moment ago, Michael Jordan passed, cut to the basket. If you turn your head, it's a no-no because Michael's always looking, and Karl Malone delivered on the money. Magic loves to look one way and deliver the other. He's coming where? You never know with the Magic Man.
Guimarães trying again with the three-point shot. Ewing from Johnson. And the United States leads 70-19. As I mentioned, the Angolans toured the Midwest for a while, playing at gyms such as Mary Ryan Boys and Girls Club in Flint, Michigan. They played a pickup squad. They stayed at Mr. Gibby's Motor Inn. Oh, you stay there on several occasions, Mike. Traveled by school bus. We're not talking Monte Carlo-like conditions here.
Well, it's kind of like, as Larry Bird tries to dish it off to Karl Malone for the score, it's kind of like what happened, you know, salaries between these players that play in Portugal. About 6 of the players from Angola play in Portugal for about $8 grand a month. The U.S. guys average about $250,000 a month. They stayed in Monte Carlo. As you mentioned, Angola stayed in the motor inns along the way in that trip.
Here's another three-pointer. Aníbal Moreira hitting the 3. The trip to the United States was actually a modest success for the Angolans. They went 5-4. Michael Jordan not able to hit. 5 up, 4 down, playing 9 games in 12 days. Stops in Milwaukee and Chicago and Flint, Youngstown, Ohio. Once again from three-point land. Conceição stopped by Ewing and foul.
Again, Magic running the show, always trying to create, knows where every player is on the floor, and most willing to give it up to his teammates. And another guy who's pretty unselfish, Larry Bird, at the end gives it off. Rather than take the shot, gives it to Malone for 2.
Jordan called for the foul, his second.
You may see Angola wind up with a number of open shots now. I think what Chuck Daly and his staff are doing, they are playing defenses right now looking down the road. They've gone to a lot of jumping suddenly at the ball, jump switching and double teaming and rotating now, perhaps treating this second half almost as a practice for a future opponent.
And the foul is called against the United States. Patrick Ewing trying to set up. It's called for the push-out. That is his 4th foul in international rules, 5, and you are disqualified.
What a headache as a coach. If Ewing gets in foul trouble, you have to bring David Robinson into the game.
And Seisau throwing it back out. Once again, Angola looking to set up for the 3-point shot. Seisau knocked away. Shot clock down to 5. Down to 3. Alone with the block.
Think about your pep talk. Pass, 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 pass. Get it blocked.
Larry Bird with the field goal. He has 5 points. Larry Bird has been a question mark right throughout the competition because of a bad back, which has affected his legs. Feels the nerve damage in his legs when the back acts up. But he's looked pretty good here this afternoon.
He feels much better. He told Quinn Buckner prior to the game this is the best he's felt in a while.
Patrick Ewing hitting double figures. He has 11.
The flexibility of this USA team, Bird with the bad back, but a very good defensive rebound that can stay back at the boards, and it allows Chuck Daly and the U.S. team to send a Patrick Ewing or David Robinson down and become really the first trailer in the transition game, part of the fast break.
4.5 minutes gone by in the second half. Conceição lost the dribble, and Jordan with the swipe finds Magic alone from Johnson.
Again, another weapon in the defensive arsenal of the USA team. Besides the block shots, you have the ball pressure, the hands in, the steals, the deflections, which lead to the easy run-out scores.
And a nice move by David Diaz, 6'6", 210-pound frontline man. Magic Johnson with a hesitation dribble, intent on going for the bucket. He drew the foul. U.S. for the 78-25 lead.
I believe babe is a 4-letter word.
I believe that the person who said winning isn't everything never won anything.
I believe sweat is sexy.
I don't believe in liposuction.
I believe 70 is a long way from old.
I believe you should go big or stay home.
At Lady Foot Locker, we believe there's an athlete in all of us.
There's no guarantee that what goes up must come down, that it takes 2 to tango, or that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. But there's one guarantee you can always count on, the new McDonald's guarantee. Our promise of hot food, fast, friendly service, and drive-through orders double-checked to be right. If not, we'll make it right, or your next meal is on us. What you want is what you get. Some things in life are guaranteed.
As the water of the Colorado River goes, so go the western states. And as the western states go, so goes the country. We just thought you'd like to know. The Colorado, if it's important to you, you'll find it in time.
You know you can get cash just across the street. But did you know you can get cash all across the country? Using the same card you use at the cash machines at home. That is, when your card has a plus. Because plus marks the spot for cash when you travel. At cash machines in big cities and small towns. In all 50 states and beyond. So check your card and name your street.
Back in Barcelona, United States 78, Angola 25. And Magic Johnson to the free throw line.
Magic came down last time, wanted to dish it off to either corner, but the defensive players on the wing stayed at home. They forced Magic to do it on his own, so he wound up taking what normally you would consider a wild shot from Magic Johnson.
The United States with a 55-point advantage. Biggest lead of the game. Sardinia with the rebound, able to get it right back out. Macedo. And once again, a three-pointer. Erlander Coimbra. So Angola is now 6 of 27 from three-point land. And Michael Jordan looking for the move, lost it. That is only the third turnover for the U.S. And Ewing had it knocked away by Sardinia, so it will be U.S. ball.
Moreira that time behind the three-point line facing up, but then suddenly you have Larry Bird at 6'10" challenge you. It no longer becomes an easy shot.
Bird with the fadeaway. For those of you who may have just joined us, United States led at the half 64-16. At one point, they scored 31 consecutive points. Angola went 8 minutes and 45 seconds without a score. Bird helping Sardinia to his feet.
Well, Larry Bird told Magic the other night in the hotel, you better find me if I'm open. Magic finds him in a low flash, and then Larry hits a little fadeaway.
And Patrick Ewing has fouled out. Here's the applause from the crowd. Ewing called for that foul that sent Sardinia flying. Ewing, 5 for 5 from the field, 1 of 2 from the line for 11 points. So David Robinson has replaced him. And Bird called for the travel. I don't know. You think he would have gotten that in the NBA?
No. No way.
82-28. The United States with the lead. Last touch by Robinson. Chuck Daly in his talk with Quinn Buckner at halftime mentioned the point we brought up earlier, the fact that at one point at practice, Angolan coach Victorino Cunha Sosa with his first three-pointer. Point brought up by Cunha that he prefers the collegiate game. He said NBA players don't play defense, but then you try to straighten things out, try to help the coach a little bit.
Well, I saw a buzz and this excitement suddenly develop within the crowd, the media that had collected. And once he said it for the second time that the NBA players don't play defense, I just kind of whispered over his shoulder that, coach, mistake. Thought maybe he would get the idea to leave it alone, try to help him out a little bit.
Because that statement was certainly brought forth by Chuck Daly to the players, and we saw the defense turned up a notch at one stretch in the first half.
Yeah, and it's the next group that comes on for the USA team, the one that has Barkley and Pippen along with Jordan, Robinson, etc., that makes all those things happen.
12.5 remaining in the game. The United States with an 84-31 lead.
Again, back to the trapping defense. The USA team trying to force turnovers, looking down the road to make things happen, and there it is. They produce the steal.
Magic right. So Nelson Sardinia has joined a long list of NBA players. He has been posterized by Michael Jordan.
Yeah, Magic was waiting for that to happen the whole time, just waiting for a chance to get Michael as a trailer.
And again, Magic on the run. Finds You can see the frustration of several Angolan players looking over at the bench, indicating what are we supposed to do. The look away, Bird taking from Magic.
USA team has gone to a little half-court trap. It's like a 1-3-1. As soon as the ball comes over the half-court line, it gets passed to the wing. They go double-team it right away, and then let their great athleticism take care of the rest, anticipating the passing lanes, going out for the steals and deflections, and then, of course, the block shot in the end if you take it to the basket.
10 assists now for Magic Johnson. Malone trying to save, but he stepped out.
The play that Magic was waiting for, a chance for him to score, yeah, but he knows he has Michael trailing and then Jordan with the finish, which just electrifies the crowd. You get Michael on the fly, you know the tongue is coming out because something bad is going to happen to the defense. Does Magic like it? He loves it.
An ovation from the crowd as the United States makes substitutions. A new unit stepping on. David Robinson remains, but enter Charles Barkley, Scottie Pippen, Clyde Drexler, and Chris Muller. 11 minutes remaining in the second half, and the U.S. with a 90-31 lead. And it will be United States ball.
You'll see Michael Jordan probably wind up with only about 18 minutes in this game against Angola. But I would tend to believe that this is because he might want to play a few more minutes in their next game coming up and dig in against Tony Kukoc.
Yes, we discussed that earlier. That's a 3 for Conceição. Tomorrow night's game against Croatia may well be the most competitive for the United States during their 2-week stay here in Barcelona. Croatians have an NBA starter in Drazen Petrovic of the New Jersey Nets. Robinson thought he was fouled. Stojko Brankovic, a backup center for the Boston Celtics, who has not received much playing time in the NBA, but under European standards, certainly a usable player. Here's Barkley with a tremendous movement, not able to finish off. And a foul is called. Foul on Charles. U.S. with a 90-34 lead.
Lucite Paint is sponsoring the 1992 U.S. Olympic team. For one very good reason. Lucite knows all about tough finishes. Acrylic tough. Lucite Paint. One tough paint for one tough finish. Proud sponsor of the 1992 U.S. Olympic team. PPG salutes the American spirit.
Kodak changes the shape of picture taking. The Kodak FunSaver Panoramic 35 camera. Beautiful panoramic prints. 3.5 by 10 inches long. The affordable FunSaver Panoramic 35 camera. Preloaded with Kodak film, ready to shoot. Get one and get all the fun on film.
We've had Old Blaze for 16 years. I mean, this Old Blaze. My husband uses it for all of his hunting and fishing trips. He and the dog absolutely love that car. Someday, when even AC Delco parts can't keep it going, we'll just park it out back so he and the dog can sit in it and reminisce.
AC Delco parts. It's like buying time.
Supreme me with the taco supreme. Supreme me. Or a nacho supreme with the taste like heaven come to earth. Taco Bell Supreme. Supreme me. Burrito Supreme. Supreme me. South Taco Supreme. They started 79. Supreme me one more time. Taco Bell Supreme. Run for the border.
Halfway through the second half. As we discussed earlier, it's a traveling violation. The largest point differential for the United States in Olympic competition back in 1956. The U.S. team of Bill Russell and Casey Jones defeated Thailand 101-29. And in '88, they beat Egypt 102-35. 72-point margin. And the U.S. approaching that figure here today. Conceição guarded by Barkley. Tries the one-on-one move and then gives it up. Sardinia stripped by Robinson. Barkley from Pippen. Charles with 16.
What the U.S. defense does is, at times, invites the ball to go to the basket. They know that behind them they have either Patrick Ewing or David Robinson to block and change shots. And then as soon as Angola tries to kick it out and the basket counts on the penetration.
Strong move by Paulo Macedo, and he will go to the line.
What happens is you have your big men there to change it. The result is forced turnovers and then long outlet passes, which lead to transition scores. Barkley that time asking for a call, but you're not going to get it, Charles, after the elbow in the first half. No way.
Barkley controlling that pass that went astray, and it leads to 2 points.
I don't know if they'll give him full credit for it. Maybe it's a half an assist. He really didn't have it to give it up, but it wound up in Mullen's hand.
Over and back. Another turnover.
So first you have Pippen guarding the ball, putting pressure at Michael Jordan, and then Pippen coming back again. You start one way, you go the other, and then if you wind up going into the backcourt, over the white line, as the official points out, it's going to be a backcourt violation.
It is a 58-point lead for the United States. Drexler with the back door that was saved by Mullen. Pippen finding Drexler. And it was deflected out.
One of the problems, if you make too many passes in the lane in international competition, you're not going to get away with it. There are times where you just must shoot the shot. Even though you're trying to play unselfishly, you have to get it up or they're going to blow the whistle and it'll be a violation against you.
8 minutes remaining in the game. Conceição, good pass for Sardinia. Jean-Jacques Conceição, clearly Angola's best player. He has 2 brothers who play international team handball for Angola. They did not qualify for the Olympics. The only other team from Angola that qualified for Olympic competition, roller hockey, which happens to be a demonstration sport. Barkley getting inside. He has 18, and the United States now leads 96-38.
There was a double team on Charles, believe it or not, until he decided to step through, split it, and wind up with an easy layup.
Conceição with the spin move, and he was hit by Barkley. Barkley called for his 3rd foul. Angola, as we touched on earlier, in a very difficult group. The United States and Croatia, Germany, and Brazil, Spain. Tomorrow they face Germany, led by Detlef Schrempf. And Wednesday they go up against Oscar Schmidt and Brazil.
When you talked to Coach Cunha earlier, he had mentioned that his big hope was that they would not wind up in this particular group, hoping that they could win 1, perhaps 2 games. But now his concern is, after finding out who the opponents are, he's concerned he may not win a game, although they have accomplished a lot and they're very proud in their country of what they've done.
Sardinia called for the foul, and he is fouled out. Christian Leitner checking in. Christian, as it turns out, has other talents. On a recent appearance on Late Night with David Letterman, he claimed he's the only human being over 6'5" who can walk on his hands. And he pulled it off. Here it is. Very nicely done by Christian.
trying to knock small guys out of just another thing. Now you got 6'11", 7-footers walking on their hands. Oh,
as if it matters what your height is, you'd be able to walk on your hands.
You want me to get out there and do this for you?
Just under 7 minutes remaining in the game, and the United States with a 97-39 lead. That is extremely athletic on the part of Christian Leitner to be able to pull that off. Pass misfired, intended for Diaz. And the ball goes to the United States. Once again, an over and back.
The wild scramble for the basketball. It's touched, and then there's the foot over the line.
Mullen's pass for Barkley is broken up, and Moreira got a piece of it, but last touched by Barkley.
And the USA team has gone away from their set plays in the half-court area, basically just running passing game, motion offense, trying to get some movement by all the bodies and just letting them play.
United States now with Christian Leitner, Charles Barkley, and Chris Mullen up front. Clyde Drexler and Scottie Pippen in the backcourt. We're approaching 6 minutes remaining in the game. Mullen for three. Moreira. Mullen with the block from behind. It's a 4-on-1, and Barkley able to finish it off.
This team has such a great understanding of what everyone's role is and who does what best, who the finishers are, where the ball should be centered up, who the decision makers are, and give a little credit. There's a lot of athletic ability, great talent on this team, but someone had to kind of get these guys to all put it together and play within, and Chuck Dell and his staff done a pretty good job.
Here's another three-pointer. Evo Moreira with the 9th successful three-pointer for the Angolans. They are 9 for 33. Moreira, one of several Angolans, plays professionally in Portugal. It counts, and the foul. Conceição called for the personal. USA leading 99-42.
Hello, Jim.
How about the 13-year-old? Unbelievable.
What's that?
This Olympic diver is a 13-year-old girl. When I was 13, I used to run through the sprinkler with an inner tube.
You know, girls mature faster than boys.
Seinfeld returns with all new shows Wednesdays after the Olympics on NBC.
Nobody does more to put you at ease than Sofa Express. Everything you dream for your living room. All in stock for next day delivery. Custom orders in 35 days, guaranteed. And a double the difference price warranty. Sofa Express. Nobody does more.
Feelings never change. It's like time stands still. And everything we share comes from the heart. You know just what to say. It's as though you read my mind.
Ever notice how nothing connects friends like a phone call?
Good friends are never far apart.
Ohio Bell.
Do you go to church?
I used to go when I was younger when my parents made me go, but I don't go anymore.
Just really don't have the time anymore. I guess I cherish sleeping a little late on Sunday.
Many people are drifting away from organized religion, and most mainline denominations are suffering a serious decline in membership. Beginning Monday, Colleen Marshall examines what's causing this widespread loss of faith, finds out how the churches are trying to bring back their flocks, and discovers some church groups that are still thriving. Losing My Religion, beginning Monday on News 4 live at 5.
He's a
Watch Cosby weekdays at 4 right here on Channel 4.
Well, it's been a 10-assist performance for that man, Magic Johnson, who has made it clear that the Olympics may be more important to him than the rest of his teammates.
I mean, it's probably more so meaningful to me than any of the other guys, especially, you know, being out of basketball for a year. Thought this would never, ever happen to me again in terms of getting an opportunity, having the HIV virus, all that makes it even much more important to me than any of the other guys.
You could just see the way he's carried himself, not only on the basketball court, but Magic is excited. He's thankful to be given this opportunity. He's going to take every advantage he can of this. Was most proud of being part of that opening ceremony of the Olympics, that he could just be out there with all the other athletes from the great, nations and be part of the festivities on the opening evening.
Barkley called for the foul. Look at the stat line of Magic Johnson, and Jean-Jacques Conceição will go to the line. Incidentally, Conceição is Angola's flag bearer at last night's opening ceremony. He has 9 points.
They had to, in fact, the security guards take the United States team and coaches off the surface of the opening ceremonies field, because what had happened was many of the athletes from the other countries were making their way over, trying to get photos and signatures and autographs, and it just became a little bit too dangerous, so they removed them. Actually, as soon as the flame was lit, they were gone.
Chuck Daly made the point. He feels as if he is traveling with touring rock stars. That's certainly the case right from Portland through Monte Carlo and now here in Barcelona.
The security around their hotel is incredible. To get in, you must have a pass, a special pass, which is being issued by USA and NBA security. Then once you're in, there must be another little doodad on your pass that allows you, doodad, to get you into a room where only players are allowed for the recreation. They have video games, and they have pool table, ping pong tables, etc., where they can just kind of hang out by themselves at night.
I believe doodad is listed in the Olympic handbook.
It's a doodad. That's what it is.
Coming up on 4 minutes remaining of the game, and the United States leading 103-44. Nice move by David Diaz. The steal by Conceição. And he is hit by Mullen. Reach and foul. Let's go over to Quinn Buckner.
Thanks a lot, Marv. I'm here with Teresa Weatherspoon, one of the guards on the U.S. women's team. Teresa, what do you think of this Dream Team?
I believe that the Dream Team is very real in what their name stands for, and I think that they're coming out to go home with the gold medal.
Teresa, has it really bothered you that all the attention that the men's team has gotten as opposed to what the women's team has gotten?
Actually, no, it doesn't bother us at all, because once you sit down and think about it, we're both focused on the very same thing, and that's definitely to bring home the gold medal.
Well, let's wish you luck in bringing the medal back to the USA.
Thank you.
Back to you, Marv.
All right, Quinn. U.S. now with a 103-46 lead. As we wind down in Game 1, the Olympic debut of the so-called Dream Team. They look to the matchup with Croatia tomorrow. The tip and miss by Conceição. Charles Barkley getting away with a palm. Drexler finishes it off.
You got to make a decision when Charles Barkley is going full speed ahead, leading a fast break. For your country, do you want to step in and take the charge? Big decision.
And the decision in that instance was no.
No.
Nice pass. Diaz not able to hit. And once again, here comes Barkley. Mullen for 3. 8 points for Chris Mullen. The high men are Barkley with 24, Malone 19, Ewing with 11. Ewing fouled out earlier. Jordan with 10. Michael did not get of playing time, and as you indicated earlier, you feel that he will be looking to get the time against Croatia tomorrow.
I think he definitely would like getting a lot of minutes in the game against Croatia.
Barkley playing with the backboard. Drexler couldn't tip it. Leitner with the strip. Took it away from Diaz. Back comes Pippen for Drexler. And he'll go to the foul line.
I'm not sure if Charles just didn't get caught up in the air and wanted to drop it off right or left and had nowhere to go, and as a result at the end threw it up. But when you look at it, I think he intended from the beginning to throw it off the backboard and go get it and try and throw it down.
So Charles enjoyed a little form of force with himself. We'll be right back.
July 1992. Oldsmobile goes further than any other car company to redefine quality. Further than the lab, further than the test track. The Oldsmobile Achieva went 100,000 miles against Honda Accord and Toyota Camry in a real-world test. Independent test results prove Achieva outperformed Accord and Camry in total cost, which includes maintenance, repair, and operating costs. Achieva, quality redefined. From the company that went far enough to prove it. Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
I was really downing those tablets. Come on, they're not candy. I started to think there was something really wrong with my stomach. Was I relieved when my doctor told me to try a new antacid tablet.
Introducing Mylanta tablets, shown to neutralize more stomach acid than the leading tablet.
Unbelievable.
New Mylanta tablets.
My doctor said Mylanta.
Both Visa and American Express Gold cards can get you to La Roche-Guyon, one of the prettiest towns in France. But should something go wrong here, only Visa Gold can get you out.
You had to come to France, right?
Don't start, Marty.
Because La Roche-Guyon's only towing service
No, we're not getting a tow truck. I can get this out.
doesn't take American Express.
Oui?
Visa Gold, delivering what really matters.
Jamal's from.
Honey, that means I eat French.
Oh.
It's everywhere you want to be.
When a muffler goes, some people look for a cheap replacement. Fact is, they can get a quality Midas muffler starting at $24.95. Fact is, a guaranteed economizer muffler starting at $24.95. Don't believe anybody ever beats Midas.
Perspiration's okay when you're playing tennis, but not when you're close.
If a guy smells, it's such a turn-off.
Get a little closer with Arid, the anti-odor antiperspirant that helps keep you extra, extra dry.
Yeah, I trust Arid.
Well, at the half, the United States led 64-16. Angola a bit more competitive during the second half. They've been outscored 44-30, but they are trailing by 62 points. Over the course of one span of the first half, the United States had a 46-1 run, and at one point they had scored 31 unanswered points.
Imagine if you were trying to use your timeouts up to stop the run. You'd have to have 2 or 3 dozen.
2:08 remaining in the game. And Chuck Daly finishing with a combination of Barkley, Leitner, Mullen, Pippen, and Drexler. Sesau being played by Barkley. Goes to a third option, and he's called for the offensive foul. That is only his first personal.
Charles holds his position, lets the offensive player come to him, and then picks up the offensive foul.
Pippen trying to find Leitner. Well, tomorrow the United States goes up against Croatia, featuring Drazen Petrovic, Tony Kukoc, Detlef Schrempf, and Germany face the U.S. on Wednesday, then Brazil Friday, and Spain on Sunday. And again, the foul called on Sesau. Minute and a half remaining. As Chris Mullen goes to the free throw line. Chris, a member of the 1984 gold medal winning team in Los Angeles. shot extremely well in the Tournament of Americas in Portland, averaged 15 points, just under 70% from the field. The United States 111, Angola 46. The Angolan coach, Victorino Cunha, came in with 2 goals and failed to hit on either one. Said he hoped to keep the point differential within 45. His other objective, to hold the U.S. team under 100. Drexler extends to a 113-48 lead. Just under 1 minute remaining in the game. Charles Barkley leading the way with 24 points. Barkley allowing that driving shot. Drexler for Leitner. 3-point attempt. Mullen with the pass for Leitner, who was held. Foul called on Manuel Sosa.
Had an opportunity to see Christian Leitner at a practice during the regular season when Duke came into Atlanta to play against Georgia Tech, and when their regular shoot-around part of it was over, the assistant coaches for Duke stayed out and spent about 25 minutes with Leitner behind the 3-point line, just feeding him, letting him shoot it. A terrific stroke with range from out there for a player of his size.
And can walk on his hands. Little bonus. Christian Leitner helping lead Duke to 2 straight NCAA championships. Yet another 3-pointer. So Angola with their 37th attempt from downtown. Leitner with a nice ball fake. And the U.S. leads 116-48. 7 points for Leitner. And that will wrap it. Won't count. The United States has defeated Angola in its opening game by the score of 116-48. 68-point differential, so they fall short of the U.S. all-time Olympic record, but a healthy 68-point blowout. And the U.S. players and the Angolans shake hands and head back to their respective locker room. That's the final. Croatia is next. We'll be back in a moment.